Arian stared at the house. It loomed over him, dark and silent. Twisted branches scraped against the old walls like bony fingers. A shiver ran down Arian's spine. He didn't want to go in. He missed his parents already. They had promised to be back soon. But for now, Arian was stuck with Granny and Grandpa. A cold wind howled through the trees. Taking a deep breath, Arian stepped towards the house. The front door creaked open as if inviting him into a nightmare. Granny and Grandpa stood in the hallway, their smiles stiff and unnatural. The dim light cast eerie shadows on their faces, making their expressions even more unsettling. Arian felt a shiver run down his spine as he took in the sight before him. Granny's eyes glowed with a strange light, almost as if they were lit from within. The glow was unnatural, casting an eerie luminescence that seemed to pierce through the darkness. Arian couldn't tear his gaze away from those haunting eyes. Grandpa just grinned, revealing a mouthful of yellowed teeth. His grin was wide and menacing, a stark contrast to the warm, welcoming smiles Arian was used to. The sight of those teeth made Arian's stomach churn. "Welcome, Arian!" Granny's voice rasped, sending chills down his spine. Her voice was low and gravelly, each word dripping with a sinister undertone. It was as if she was savoring each syllable, relishing the fear it instilled in him. Arian wanted to turn and run. His instincts screamed at him to flee, to get as far away from this place as possible, but his feet felt like they were glued to the floor, unable to move. But he knew he couldn't. He was trapped. The hallway seemed to stretch endlessly with no escape in sight. The walls felt like they were closing in on him, suffocating him with their oppressive presence. "Your room is upstairs," Grandpa chuckled, his voice a low growl. The sound was deep and guttural, reverberating through the hallway. It was a sound that promised no comfort, only dread. "Don't stay up too late." The warning was scrawled in a creepy handwriting, the letters jagged and uneven. It was a message that seemed to come from the shadows themselves, a final reminder of the terror that awaited him. Arian took the stairs slowly, each step groaning under his weight. The sound echoed through the silent house, amplifying his fear. Every creak felt like a warning, a reminder of the danger that lurked in every corner. He felt eyes watching him. The sensation was overwhelming, a prickling at the back of his neck that made his skin crawl. It was as if the house itself was alive, observing his every move. He didn't dare look back. The fear was too great, the unknown too terrifying. All he could do was keep moving forward, hoping that whatever awaited him upstairs was less frightening than what he left behind. The old house seemed to breathe around him. Floorboards creaked and groaned as if the house itself was alive, watching his every move. Whispers seemed to emanate from the walls, filling the air with an unsettling presence. It was as if the house was trying to communicate with him, to tell him something important. Arian's room was at the end of a long dark hallway. The flickering light bulb cast eerie shadows, making the hallway seem even more ominous. He pushed open the door, the creak echoing through the empty house. It felt like the door hadn't been opened in years. The room was dusty and cold, filled with cobwebs and the scent of neglect. It was as if time had stood still in this forgotten place. A single window rattled in the wind, adding to the eerie atmosphere. The sound was almost like a whisper, a ghostly voice trying to get his attention. Arian threw his bag on the bed and turned to leave, but something made him pause. A feeling of unease washed over him. That's when he saw it. His eyes widened in shock as he took in the sight before him. A message scratched onto the wall. "Don't trust them." The word sent a chill down his spine. Arian's heart pounded in his chest. Fear gripped him as he tried to make sense of the message. Who had written that message? What did it mean? Questions swirled in his mind, but answers seemed just out of reach. Hours later, unable to sleep, Arian decided to explore the house. He tiptoed down the hallway, avoiding the loose floorboards. A faint light flickered from under a door at the end of the hall. Curiosity got the better of him. He slowly opened the door. It was the attic. He had barely stepped inside when the door slammed shut behind him. Arian spun around. Grandpa stood there, blocking the exit. His eyes glowed with an eerie light. "You shouldn't be here, Arian," he hissed. Panic surged through Arian. His heart pounded in his chest like a drum, each beat echoing the urgency of his situation. The dim light of the attic cast eerie shadows, making the space feel even more claustrophobic. He scanned the attic desperately, his eyes darting from corner to corner, searching for any means of escape. The old wooden beams creaked under his weight, adding to his anxiety. A small window at the far end offered a glimmer of hope. The moonlight streaming through it was like a beacon, calling him towards freedom. "Distract him!" a voice whispered in his mind. It was as if the very walls of the attic were guiding him, urging him to act quickly. It was the message on the wall, guiding him. The words seemed to glow faintly, their meaning clear and urgent. Arian grabbed a dusty book and hurled it across the room. The book sailed through the air, its pages fluttering like the wings of a trapped bird. It crashed against a pile of boxes, creating a loud bang! The noise reverberated through the attic, startling even Arian himself. As Grandpa turned, distracted, Arian seized his chance. His heart raced as he bolted towards the window, every second counting. He sprinted towards the window, scrambling out onto the roof. The rough shingles scraped against his hands, but he didn't care. The night air was cold, but Arian welcomed it. He was free. The stars above seemed to twinkle with approval, as if congratulating him on his daring escape. He carefully made his way across the tiles, clinging to the edge for dear life. Each step was a calculated risk, but he couldn't afford to hesitate. Finally, he jumped to the ground below. The impact jarred his legs, but he quickly regained his balance. He didn't stop running until he reached the safety of the main road. His breath came in ragged gasps, but he felt a surge of triumph. As he looked back at the shadowy silhouette of the house, he knew he would never forget his terrifying escape from Granny and Grandpa. The ordeal had changed him, but he was stronger for it.